Hey y'all, Merry Christmas in July here from Texas. It may be 100 degrees outside, but we are in here baking Christmas cookies for you. I can't wait to share my recipes with you, but first I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. So, I have been a baker from the age of, I couldn't even tell you when. I began baking with my grandmother, my Mimi, my mom's mom. She taught me most of everything that I know, but as the baby of 4 children, I spent so much time at my grandparents' house, gardening with them, learning to can, learning to cook, and my Mimi, every single day of her married life, either baked a cake or baked a pie for my grandfather. So it was a constant learning and stretching my knowledge of all of the things cooking and baking. So that's where I developed my love for cooking and baking, and it became how I knew to show love. So fast forward to 14 years old, and you know, I was not a sports girl. I didn't excel at those sort of things, and so my mom saw how much I loved to cook and bake, and she found a woman in our hometown who kind of took me in weekly, and we paid her to give me some cooking and baking lessons, and she taught me so much, from homemade donuts to chicken enchiladas to this chocolate chip cookie recipe when I was 14 years old. I have been baking this chocolate chip cookie recipe since I was 14, and we're not going to talk about how long that's been. So nowadays I have 3 children. Hayden, who is 24, Gracie, who's 20, and Lucas, who is 18. We are literally days away from becoming empty nesters. And so I'm going into a whole new phase of life that I'm so excited about. And so important to me and my children as they grew up was baking together and cooking together in the kitchen. While my children were little, I stayed at home with them and cooked and baked for people out of my home for years. But when my youngest was going into kindergarten, I bought a catering company, literally on a whim. And it was trial by fire. It was really rough. Because it was an existing business, we spent 5 nights a week till midnight in there, baking and cooking and working on events. So that was a very huge learning experience. Loved every minute of it. I'm glad I was younger. So that was 16 years ago. We moved to Texas almost 9 years ago, and I began another catering company and retail business called Bon Appetit, y'all. So we are a full-line caterer, boutique bakery, event and wedding coordinating. We do floral and rental of all the decor and beautiful things. So, but I started, even when I started my business here in Sherman, I started with this cookie. This was one of the absolute very first things that I introduced to my customers, was this cookie. And I would do a lot of gift baskets for people and fill them with these cookies. I had real estate agents who would come and buy, you know, dozens at a time, and I would package them cutely in different sections so that they could hand them out to their customers. So I've always had a love for baking, but cookies, I just love them. And I love the versatility, and everyone's gonna love a cookie. And just ask my 300-pound husband how good my cookies are.